hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
It's Friday morning. That means it's time for Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air. And we welcome Mark and Mary to the program. Good morning.
Did you slide in here like I did?
I slid in. That's right.
I didn't do too bad until I got to our parking lot over there where our office is, and it is solid ice.
I've been on a few parking lots this morning that's solid ice.
Yeah, my son, his first service call was that way too.
Yeah.
He kind of slid all the way there and all the way back.
Yeah.
So.
You know, I was out yesterday. I got out and went to the office and was there most of the day. And, you know, I didn't have much problem getting around. I was out late last night putting around and didn't really have any issues. But I think it was actually slicker this morning since this stuff's froze back and harder to get around this morning than it was last night.
I didn't get out at all yesterday, so I'll take your word for it.
You know, and I was over close to your house. See, that just shows I was out driving around.
I know, you were. You should have stopped in and said hi. I was getting bored.
I guess I should have.
I'm telling you.
So I was wanting a cup of coffee. You know,
should have come in. I'd have made you a cup of coffee.
I just, very seldom do I ever get the hankering for Starbucks coffee. But I did yesterday. And I left the office early, was going to go work out, got up there, rehab was closed, couldn't work out. So like, okay, great, I want a cup of coffee. Went to 3 Starbucks. It was all 3 closed. And I just was getting aggravated.
Yep,
so
you should have just knocked on the door, Mark. I'd have made you coffee and everything would have been fine.
I'll remember that. I went to the gas station, got me a cup of coffee, and went home and went to fix me a sandwich and discovered the new loaf of bread I bought. The whole side was busted out of it, and it was hard as rocks. So I had to go back to the grocery store, get new bread. It was just one
You
of
just
those
had a rough
evenings.
day.
I did. I just had a rough day.
You sure did. You should have just stayed home and watched a movie or something. It'd have been much more calm.
Well, you know, really what I wanted to do yesterday, I was really hoping the weather would be worse than it was because I wanted to stay home and watch the Bud Duels from Daytona, you know, because Daytona 500s this weekend, so they had the qualifying race yesterday, and I really wanted to have a good, legitimate excuse to stay home and watch the qualifying races, but I couldn't. Weather wasn't quite bad enough to justify that, or with my boss in here.
Yeah.
So I did have to go in. Missed that, but oh well.
Oh, well, life goes on.
That's right. It does.
Life goes on. And we're here today.
That's right. And you know what? It is always sunny right here in the studios of AM 560 on Friday mornings because it's Home Repairs and Solutions.
That's right. And we try to brighten everyone's day.
We do. I think we do a pretty good job of it.
I think so. Try to give some good information and make them a little smarter. It usually makes me a little smarter after the end of the show. I learn lots on the show.
Oh, yeah.
So.
Always does me too.
Yep, me too. I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to do on Friday.
That's right. It is. And speaking of smarter and brighter, we have a guest in here this morning.
We do. He made it today.
He did. He didn't forget.
He didn't. Of course, he had several reminders, I think.
Yeah.
It almost seemed like I was almost late last time I was a guest on the show. You guys are starting to give me a complex.
Well, that's okay. You made it. You made it. Now, we have Bob with Springfield Brick with us today.
Yeah.
So welcome back to the show. It's been a while since you've been on with us.
It has. It's a real pleasure to be back. I think it's almost been a year since since the last time we were here. So, yeah, it's a real pleasure and an honor to be back on the show.
Glad to have you. You know, we were. I came by the store earlier this morning.
Yes, you did.
Looking for some brick, and we were talking about. The brick industry is one that just don't change a whole lot, because we was talking about, well, is there any exciting news or anything, to talk about? Well, it don't change much, but there is some neat stuff. And this time of year, people, when they think of Springfield Brick, they think you just carry brick. Well, that's not true. You carry other stuff, and, we're getting close to the time of year when we start, wanting to get outside, do a little landscaping, stuff like that. and you guys can help people out with that.
We'd certainly try. We just had the lawn and garden show here in town that I'm sure a lot of people attended, and that normally, it kind of kicks off that whole, thought process of, planning your new backyards and maybe that outdoor living area you've talked about for months and all winter, as you're sitting inside looking out at the backyard going, man, I wish I was out there. So that's, outdoor fireplaces, maybe doing a little, landscape work, building a small retaining wall or a garden wall or raised garden beds even. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and over at Springfield Brick, we can help you out with that. We have a lot of different materials, landscape blocks, big ones and small ones, several different colors to choose from. We have clay pavers and things you can always build that patio out there with, and just help create that new outdoor living area.
Right. Something that comes to mind with the landscape blocks. A lot of people do the raised gardens. To me, it would be great to use the landscape blocks to build your raised garden. A lot of people will use railroad ties. Railroad ties really. You shouldn't use those. You
really shouldn't. The problem you get into with the railroad ties is the chemicals they use to treat that lumber isn't probably the best thing for your vegetables and any vegetation for that matter.
Yeah.
A concrete block, a little decorative concrete block is a lot more friendly to your vegetables and vegetation in that aspect. So,
right.
And it doesn't rot.
That's true. That's true. And if you ever want to get rid of your raised garden, you can utilize those landscape blocks for other projects.
You really can. A lot of times you can dismantle those and maybe you use them somewhere else. Maybe build a just a flower bed over in the corner of your yard or something like that. So
yeah. So
repurposing things.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That's a big thing. Repurposing things and taking something and using it for something else and. It's kind of cool, some of the stuff. Some people are really, really good at that. I like to visit with people who are good at that. They'll go to maybe an antique store or something and find something and repurpose it into something else, which is great. We're not throwing so much stuff in the landfill, and it's kind of fun to make something new out of something old.
Absolutely. And, and that's the nice thing.
And it saves the money.
About masonry and concrete and clay products is they do last a long time. That's been one of the rages for many years is using a used brick or repurposing, an old building into your new project.
Right.
And that's something that, you have to kind of watch your design and so forth, because not everything can be repurposed for the original use. Sometimes maybe you need to move that brick that was used outside and now it's been demolished and kind of cracked. You might want to use it on an interior application. So, you just kind of got to watch your design and make sure you're using it appropriately.
Sure. Yeah. We better give out some numbers.
We better.
Yeah. 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. Or if you want to text us a message, well, you can do that at 417-838-3192, and we'll be more than happy to read your question on the air and try to answer it. Some people just don't like to talk on phones,
They don't, but a lot of people text these days.
They do. I text a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I don't. I text some, but not a lot.
Of course, being in the real estate and construction business, a lot of things, that we do is via phone. So I do talk on the phone a lot. Sometimes I just get tired of talking on the phone, and I just soon text somebody, and they can answer when they want then. But, so my son, he's got a nickname for me. He calls me Emilio Textavez.
That's a good name. That's a good name. I like it. I like it.
So, but anyway, so if you'd like to just text your question in while I do that, and we'll try to answer whatever we can for you.
Yes, we will. Or we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
That's right. We'll sure try to talk. And, if we don't have the answer for today, we'll research it and have you an answer next week, or whatever we can do to help you out to make your life easier.
Absolutely. We do our best to try and help you answer all of your questions.
That's true. This time of year, Bob, with the weather like we're having and stuff, people need to be choosy of what they use on their masonry products as far as ice melts and stuff like that?
Very much so. That is a common mistake. We grow up with the thought process of, salt melts ice. Let's throw it out there on the sidewalk. Let's throw it out there on that nice decorative sidewalk or driveway that we've dreamt about in front of our house.
Yeah.
And that couldn't be a larger mistake. Salt is not a friend to any masonry product.
Right.
It just adds to the speed of the deterioration of the product, and really can make some unsightly results after a few years. Not to mention the immediate result after that water evaporates off that driveway and it leaves that ugly white residue, and where did that come from? Well, it's that salt. It's still hanging out.
Yeah.
So it's not the most ideal solution, but a little bit of sand. They do manufacture a lot of different products out there on the market today. I'm not familiar with all of them, so I wouldn't be one to recommend one right out of the gate. But I'd certainly, read the package, make sure that it's an appropriate application for where you're going to put it. So
now, sand won't melt salt, will it? It just makes it to where you can drive over it, or will it actually melt it?
It won't melt it, but it'll sure add a little traction so you don't land up on your keister.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's and it's a lot of the tube sand has been sold for years and years. And that's not a bad thing to even carry in your car.
Sure.
You can sprinkle that out there, and it may not get you where you need to go, but it might. You never know. It's it's a good little safety net to possibly have.
Kitty litter's another one that.
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
I've heard kitty litter. Yeah.
I've also heard guys
unused
use
kitty litter.
Yeah.
unused, definitely unused.
Good point.
I've also heard guys use ready mix concrete in the bags.
Really?
I don't recommend that. It just seems like it would create a big mess.
Well, I sure
I
wouldn't
would
want to
think
track
so.
that in on my floors and carpets.
No, and that's something that you have to think about. Anything you spread down on your driveways or your sidewalks is eventually probably going to wind up inside your home. I know that my wife has a standing rule of no shoes on the carpet, and of course I'm probably the worst offender of that. So,
Sure.
keep in mind that you're going to track it in the house.
Yeah, no doubt.
I have a tip for listeners that I just thought of. I was talking to my dad the other day, and I had never thought of this because I'm not a golfer. But when you get ice and stuff like this, my mom and dad have golf shoes that they wear outside because they're spiky and all that.
Oh, wow.
And they said they work great to keep you from, falling, and you have you're real sure-footed on ice. So all of you golfers out there, or even if you're not a golfer, that's something you might want to think about is go buy a pair of golf shoes. So when we have these conditions, and they've had theirs for years, and, they only wear them because they don't golf, but they wear them when it's icy out. If they got to go or something, they put those on, and they said it makes a big difference in walking on ice in those golf shoes.
Yeah.
I imagine football cleats would be the same way, but football cleats aren't.
I would say they've got a larger lug on them.
Yeah, so I
Yeah.
don't know if that would work or not, but they said the golf shoes are great for trying to get around on
Sure.
ice.
I know they don't help my swing.
Well, sorry about that, Bob, but they might keep you from sliding on the ice. So I just got to thinking about that. Yeah, I was talking to my dad, and they had to go out, and he said they got their golf shoes on, and I was like, oh yeah, that's a cool idea.
And they do also make. I used to sell them. Matter of fact, when I was in the hardware business, you apply them to your shoes. It's just like a little strap that goes around. That's got little ice cleats.
Yes.
And so
I see the firemen wear those frequently when they're in freezing temperatures.
just like putting chains on
yeah.
car
Tires.
tire.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Yeah. So, do they still do the studded snow tires? You see them all the time. When I was a kid, everybody had studded snow
Yeah,
tires.
I don't know.
I don't think people use them near as often as they used to.
Yeah.
But, I think the mindset's just a little different now,
Yeah.
and probably the road care's a little bit better now.
Probably so. Yeah. And speaking of road care, that's one thing that people don't realize, especially if you live in a new home with a newly poured driveway and stuff. You get out and drive around on these streets, and all that stuff accumulates on the underside of your vehicle, and you pull up on your driveway, and it melts off and drips on the concrete. And, I don't know what kind of solution they're using nowadays on the roads, if there's something a little better than what it used to be. But used to, people would, come spring, their driveway was just looked horrible, and they
Oh,
couldn't figure
yeah.
out why. Well, we didn't put salt or nothing on it,
Yep.
but it was what came off of their car. They didn't think about that.
No, a lot of people don't, and and that just goes back to the basic maintenance of your home. It's something that a lot of folks don't think about. Everybody gets, has that plan when spring hits. They're going to do this project or that project, or fix this little thing here and there, and a little bit of just house cleaning. And I'm not talking about the interior kind. Just a little bit of house cleaning on the exterior of your home can save you a lot of maintenance costs in the future. Just clean those gutters. Power wash that driveway. Clean that that grime and stuff off there that's melted and soaked back into it. And something else that a lot of people don't think about is after that, you get it all cleaned off. Maybe put a sealer on it.
Exactly.
That's something that nobody really thinks about. Just a basic, concrete sealer can keep a lot of that grime from soaking into that concrete and making it unsightly in the future.
Right.
So,
and that is not a bad idea to do anyhow. Seal your driveway and your garage floor, even.
Yeah.
For that matter.
And it's really, it's not that exuberant of an expense. It's relatively easy to do. Most people can do it. Anybody that has a garden sprayer and a little time on their hands on a weekend can get that done.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a recommended task. As well as sealing your brick exterior on your home. It's something that a lot of folks also overlook. It's sold as a maintenance-free product, but it still needs it needs a little, tender loving care here and there,
Yeah, exactly. And, that's something that a lot of people do not think about is the fact of maintaining that brick. You buy a new home, it's all brick, we don't ever have to do anything to it. Well, that is not true. There is some maintenance that you do need to do to that.
Yeah, there's some basic maintenance that you can do, a relatively inexpensive, once again, a little bit of time on your hand, maybe a weekend garden sprayer again, putting a little sealer on that brick. And consult your local masonry professional, whether it's a distributor or just a professional out in the field, a mason. Ask them what they would recommend.
Sure.
Because not everything that you'd use to seal your deck would be recommended to seal your brick.
Seal your brick, exactly.
Those chemical compounds, there's people that make lots of money, coming up with the right mix of stuff to get that sealed up correctly.
Yeah.
Definitely, ask questions.
Yep, exactly right. We got a caller on hold. Let's talk to Al. Go ahead, Al.
Yes, you tweaked my interest when you were talking about taking care of concrete driveways and sidewalks and so on. We have a situation where the house faces east, so naturally the sidewalk and the westerly side of our end of our driveway does not get the sun as well as it should. So consequently, there's a lot of dark mold, is what I would call it, on the concrete sidewalks and the front steps and so on. Now, the whole area has been pressure cleaned several times, and my layman's experience with looking at it, it appears that the smooth seal of the concrete is gone. So it's open pored, if you will. What can I do to remove the dark mold-looking stuff and seal it or do something with it?
What they make some acidic cleaners out there. They'll have a little bit of acid in them. They'll have a little bit of detergent in them. Most of those can be applied. You'll mix them with a water-based solution and a 4-inch scrub brush. Doing a lot of elbow grease scrubbing down on there. A lot of times we'll clean that off there. Of course, not having eyes on it and seeing it directly, that would be the first recommendation we'd give. The second would be, of course, if you have an opportunity to have somebody look at it and get their opinion that's in the business, definitely do so. I can't think that it would be anything more than just crud and grime that's gotten down into those pores. I'd say you're probably correct in that the smooth sheen that they put on those driveways is probably gone and opened up those pores. The other problem is that if that grime sits on there too long, it will soak deeper into the concrete, and it may be a real chore trying to get that up, and it may be something it's just there now.
What type business would you recommend to have someone come look at it?
I would recommend somebody that a concrete guy. A masonry guy could probably give you some good recommendations as well. It's the same basic product. There are some differences in there, so probably leaning towards getting a hold of a concrete guy to come out and look at it would probably be your best bet.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call there, Al. We got Gloria holding on here in Springfield. Go ahead, Gloria.
I need to know, who do you recommend for someone to seal your bricks? Would you recommend Acme? Is it Acme Brick, or what do you call that brick company?
I'd call it Springfield Brick Company. That's who I'd call to get a recommendation on who to seal my brick. I'd call the boys over there, and they'd sure hook you up.
Brick?
Springfield Brick.
Give out the number, Bob.
That's 417-823.
I'm old.
That's okay.
417 what?
417-823.
Oh, repeat it again.
823-3700.
Okay, and they would seal your brick? Or
Well, they sell products that will seal your bricks.
I can't do it myself. I got to get them.
Absolutely. They'd point you in the direction of some folks that could quote that for you, quote that labor for you. But yeah, I'd just give the boys over there a call, and they'll get you pointed in the right direction.
Well, I take good care of my home. If you take care of the outside, the inside's a breeze.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, I can wash my woodwork with Murphy soap and all this and that, But if you take care of the outside, my home is, I don't know, might be 27 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm only the second person that lived in it. I've lived here, this year it'd be 11 years. And there was a couple that lived in here before that.
Yeah.
My woodwork and everything is fantastic.
That's good.
Well, magnificent. Give those guys a call, and they'll get you pointed in the right direction, taking care of the outside.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks,
you, Gloria.
It's time to take a little break.
I think so.
Woo-wee.
That was a fast 30 minutes.
Boy, it was.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. A Springfield Police Department detective was shot this morning while serving a search warrant. Lieutenant Ben King says the officer's wound is minor. The detective has not been identified, but King says he works in the Property Crimes Division. Officers have surrounded a house near Grand and West Avenue, and neighbors are being evacuated from nearby homes. Fire has destroyed a home south of Highlandville. It happened in the 100 block of Agate Lane just off Highway 176. A woman living in the home escaped when alerted by a neighbor. And the Hollywood Theater in downtown Springfield has been bought by Regal Entertainment Group. The purchase was part of a deal that included a total of 43 theaters and 513 screens for $191 million. It also includes Hollywood theaters in Joplin, Columbia, and St. Joseph. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
Hi, I'm Kyle. At the end of last year, my boss asked me to go through the Dale Carnegie course because it had a huge impact on his career. I jumped at the opportunity, but I had no idea it would affect me and my career at the level that it did. Through all the activities and conversations, I learned how to communicate more effectively and how to be the leader I need to be to further my career. I strongly recommend to anyone looking to further their career, go through the Dale Carnegie course. It will be in Springfield starting on March 18th. Go to midsouth.dalecarnegie.com.
I was leaving an exercise class.
All of a sudden, the pain started. My entire chest.
Shortness of breath. Very fatigued. Nauseated. Thought that it was nothing much, maybe just stress. You're having a heart attack.
I'm healthy, I'm young. There's no way it could be my heart. No way. Heart disease doesn't discriminate.
Listen to your body. Go get checked.
Heart disease is the #1 killer in women.
And this is something that we can fight.
Visit GoRedForWomen.org to learn a woman's risk for heart disease.
Coast to Coast AM, coming to a universe near you tonight. Coast to Coast is one of those programs that deals with strange mysteries. We'll look at Bigfoot. We'll look at UFOs. We'll look at real science. And we'll also look at conspiracies and what it all means to you, the listeners of Coast to Coast AM.
Warp Drive for the mind. Coast to Coast AM.
Midnight to 4 on KWTO AM 560, the talk of the Ozarks.
It'll be a chilly day today as clouds break for some sun. Watch out for slick spots early on. High of 35. Clear and cold tonight. We're down to 18. Plenty of sunshine tomorrow. High 42 to start the weekend. Low at 27 tomorrow night. Breezy and warmer on Sunday with times of clouds and sun. High of 56. There is a chance of rain and snow on Monday. The high 43. I'm AccuWeather's Jason Lord.
KWTO AM 560 is now streaming the Rush Limbaugh program. Go to radiospringfield.com, click on the KWTO icon, and click Listen Live, 11 to 2 Monday through Friday and 1 to 4 on Saturday.
Tonight on Fox KRBK. Start your weekend with back-to-back episodes of The Office at 5 and 5:30, followed by Access Hollywood, the only entertainment news show at 6, and Trivia with Cash Cab at 6:30. Then, on an all-new Kitchen Nightmares at 7, Chef Ramsay is called in to save a restaurant with a legacy, followed by a nail-biting new episode of Touch at 8. It all starts tonight at 5, only on Fox KRBK. Your home for the Daytona 500 this Sunday.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
Welcome back, everyone. This is the second half of Home Repairs and Solutions, heard right here every Friday morning. We've been talking to Bob from Springfield Brick today.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like, did we lose our caller? Sorry about that. She had to hang on during the break, and I guess she decided to quit hanging on.
Got tired of hanging on?
Got tired of hanging on. Some Fridays are like that. You just get tired of hanging on.
That's the truth. That is the truth.
But we did have a caller that had a question about a toilet.
Yes.
That one's out of my realm.
And she said...
Is it, Bob?
We can't fix it with a brick.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, her question was that she had it was cracked between the tank and the seat, I believe is where it was.
Where
and
the
she wanted to know,
sits on,
yeah.
like, yeah.
And she wanted to know what you could do to repair that. You cannot repair those, ma'am.
No.
You have to replace the toilet.
And, I was looking the other day out at one of the retailers that we go to buy a lot of our parts and stuff, just to see, because somebody else had a stool problem. And, you can pick up a stool for about $100.
Yeah, they're not really that expensive.
If you want to get into the, the nicer fixtures, your elongateds and all that, you can spend up $300 or $400 for a toilet stool. But
they all do the same thing.
They all do the same thing. Yes, that's right. And so, but no, you're right. There's really no repairing them.
No, once they crack, you just have to replace them.
Yeah.
So
you do. So.
But we have another caller. We have Robert here in Springfield. Good morning, Robert.
Hey, I got a question. When you got squirrels trying to get in the attic, can you do anything for them except shoot them?
Shoot them and cook them up. Make some good old squirrel gravy to go with them. But
it's a nice dinner.
Serious.
It's
in the soffits, but they made it in the attic.
Yeah, and matter of fact, we were talking this morning at the coffee shop. A lot of conversation goes on over there about different types of birds, getting in, and squirrels, this, that, and the other. And, it's really hard to keep them from getting in.
It is.
And the best thing that you can do is, if you can find where they're coming in, get you some what they call hardware cloth. And hardware cloth is just, it's like a heavy-duty screen. And it'll come in either 1/8-inch squares or 1/4-inch squares. And they can't bite through that, and just cut that and put over the hole. And to deter them from eating holes in your siding or stuff, it's hard to do. I mean, there's just
one other question. Now I'll get off here. How do you find or check out an honest contractor or even the carpenter, and know whether they're honest and giving you a fair bid, and I'll get off and listen.
Well, that's a good question. What I recommend doing is if you find a contractor or carpenter, whoever that you're going to use, ask them for references. That is the best way to find out about them. You can go to the Better Business Bureau and different places like that, but if you ask them for references and they refuse to give you references, you know that you probably need to stay away from them. But anybody reputable will give you good references.
I would agree with you, Mark. And it doesn't really matter how big the contractor is.
Exactly.
If they've been around for more than a day, they've done work for somebody. And,
right.
and those people, 9 times out of 10, if those people have gotten a good job from that contractor, they're going to give an honest reference for them.
Sure, absolutely. And one of the things that they could do would be go to Mary's List.
They could go to Mary's List on our website, which is www.springmountainair.com. I don't know exactly what that caller was looking for, but we had James Long with Brighter Day Construction on.
Yeah.
And I know some people that he's done work for personally. We try and check out our guests before we have them on the show to make sure they're reputable and all that. So depending on what you're needing, I'll give you his phone number. His name is James Long with Brighter Day Construction, and his number is 417-766-3799, and he might be able to help you with whatever you need to have done. But that is the best way, though, is to get references.
Yeah.
I know that James carries a book with before and after pictures showing his work, and
Sure.
and he's done work for several. Actually, he's done work for several people I know, and they've all been extremely happy with what he's done. And he's kind of an all-around handyman kind of guy, and he'll do a small job or a big job or whatever you need. So you might want to think about giving him a call.
Sure.
Well, and another aspect that I think needs to be added to this is, if you're going to talk to different contractors and get multiple bids, which I've always thought that was a best practice to have. It's you have to be able to compare.
Sure.
Make sure you're comparing apples to apples. One contractor may come in and look at something and say, well, this is what I believe should be done. And another contractor may come in and see it completely different. So, you definitely want to talk to your contractors. Don't just go off of a number, but get to know them, and say, hey, what is your plan here? What are you
questions.
planning? Absolutely. I don't know of a contractor that's afraid to answer a question. If you don't know what they're planning, ask them.
Sure.
And if they don't want to answer your question, you don't want them.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably might want to just, get another bid.
Yeah. But be careful in getting bid. You can get too many bids too. Then you can just be totally confused and you don't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah.
So, the bid thing, and that happens with our industry once in a while. Nathan went out the other day, and this poor lady, I think she had 5 contractors lined up like 30 minutes apart or something. And so when Nathan got there, he just told her, he said, and all she wanted was the cheapest price. And he just said, ma'am, he said, that's probably not going to be me. And he said, so I'm not going to give you a price because he said, you're getting too many bids for one thing, and we're probably not all going to be bidding apples to apples. And he said, if you're just looking for cheapest price, I'm just going to bow out of the process. And that's what he did. I mean,
sure.
So, sometimes you just have to make sure that you don't go overboard that way as well.
We try and tell everybody 3 bids.
3
is
is
a good
plenty.
Number.
Yeah.
3 is plenty.
Absolutely. Well, we got Sally back on the line.
We
here
do, from
in
Christian County.
Yeah, go ahead, Sally.
Good morning. I just wanted to give a little caution on using the kitty litter.
Uh-huh.
I used to use that a lot, and then all of a sudden they started putting clay in the kitty litter.
Mm-hmm.
And if you track that in your house or if you get that on your tire treads and take it in the garage, you're going to be unhappy.
Mm.
Oh.
So look for a kitty litter that does not contain clay.
Okay.
Good
point.
idea.
Good point.
Yeah. Thank you, Sally.
Put it in there because it's a coagulating, material. But it can be an awful mess if you track it in or get it in the cleats of your shoes and so
I'll
forth.
bet.
So,
I'll bet.
I would be in big trouble.
Just a little caution.
Well, thank you, Sally. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we do. Because I don't have cats, so I've never bought kitty litter. I didn't know there was a difference. I just thought kitty litter was kitty litter. But
oh, yeah, there's all different.
Not.
I would say, and this is just my guess, probably your cheapest kitty litter that don't really have any additives in it would probably be what you'd want to use. You
to
can
throw
buy
it on
that.
the driveway.
Yeah. I mean, you can spend several dollars on a bag of kitty litter on this, that kills odor and does all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
So there's some variations on that, but that is a good idea. Watch what you're throwing down. Make sure it's not gonna sand, if you track it in, more than likely you're going to be able to vacuum it up. It's going to be kind of a mess.
Or sweep it up.
Or sweep it up.
Or knock it off the bottom of your shoes before you walk in.
Exactly. But there's some of the stuff that you'd want to be really cautious.
Yeah, and and that brings up a good point, and this is something that it doesn't affect our business one way or the other, but a boot brush in your garage or near the back door or something can certainly help keep your boots clean and keep you from getting in trouble and creating a lot of extra work cleaning up your own mess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. Something that's become more and more popular, Bob, as we tend to like to be outdoors more.
Oh, yeah.
And that's outdoor fireplaces.
Outdoor fireplaces have become one of the main rages. Outdoor fireplaces or fire pits. The fireplace is beautiful. The outdoor fireplaces that people put out there in their outdoor living areas. The beauty of it is tremendous, and it creates a focal point, and it can add a lot of value to your home. A lot of the products they have on the market right now, they're easy to install. The homeowner can install them. If you're more comfortable hiring a professional, by all means, we recommend that. But if you're a handy individual, then you can certainly go out there and tackle one of these projects over a few weekends.
Now, you're talking about the ones you build out of brick.
We actually distribute for a product. It's called Isokern. It's a pre-engineered fireplace.
Oh, okay.
Basically, you unwrap it, and it's a giant puzzle. Comes with a special mortar for the pieces. They're manufactured out of a lighter weight material. They actually have a volcanic pumice as one of their main ingredients in there, because when you look at the pieces, they're kind of they're some larger pieces, and you look at them and you go, oh man, but they're really not that heavy. One person can typically pick up these giant pieces, and I say they're giant pieces. Some of them are 1 foot by 2 foot or 3 foot, and some of them you may still want a little help with, but it's something that the average homeowner can tackle and put together over a few weekends, and then dress it out in either maybe a stucco or a stone or a brick or something like that, and really add to the value of your home and create that outdoor living space. Get it started. Another one of the things that we have a lot of activity with are the fire pits nowadays. That's something that a lot of people have got the metal bowls, and they've set them on their porch or whatever.
Sure, yeah.
But you can have a kind of a masonry fire pit as well for really a relatively low expense. You can probably get into one of those for less than $150, not counting your own back-breaking labor.
Right.
So that's something that can start that outdoor living area as well.
Do you have the ones that have that combine the fire pit and the water? Do you have those? Have you seen those where you can have like water in the middle or something, and then the fire? Or
those are phenomenal. I love to look at.
I think those are amazing.
We do not have them. We can get you a garden hose and a fire pit, but it's going to be counterproductive.
Okay. I just want, because I just think those are just that's the cat's meow.
They are phenomenal to look at, and a lot of those are more of a gas fireplace, from what I understand. A little bit of a more controlled environment, and the projects that we sell to, the masonry fire pits and fireplaces, you can add gas logs to those. They have various products available. We don't necessarily get into that aspect of it. We try and stay with more the block and mortar side of it, without getting into the plumbing, if you will.
Right.
But those are out there. You can consult your local hardware store or professional and talk to them and see what's available.
Great idea.
Because I think one of those would be cool.
Oh, I do too.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah.
I think we ought to build one in my backyard.
I think we should too, and then we could all come over and you could cook us dinner.
That's what I'm thinking.
There you go. Yep, we got it. And then we'll go for a motorcycle ride after.
Hey, now you're talking.
Yeah,
we may have to wait a few months.
Well, yeah.
On the motorcycle ride.
I didn't know it until this winter, but I'm a sissy.
Yeah, I kind of am too. So Don't feel bad there, Bob. Well, that just means we're not real bikers. We're just guys who like to ride bikes.
That's
kinda
a
what
fact.
it is.
That's
Yeah.
a fact.
Yeah. So,
and the real bikers, they let us ride along every now and then.
yeah, exactly. No doubt. So 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. Or if you want to send us a text, it's 417-838-3192. We got a few minutes left in the show where we can squeeze a call or two in if you'd like to get a hold of us. We'd love to hear from you. Talking with Bob from Springfield Brick. And, some neat things going on. When I was in the store this morning, I was looking. You got some few different colored bricks that's available that you hadn't had. Those Cherokees, I believe.
We
hadn't
do.
seen those before,
We've kind of, with the building industry as it is, it's given manufacturers a little bit of an opportunity to break out and make some new colors and kind of get some things moving, introduce some new colors to new markets. And we have a handful of new colors from manufacturers that aren't necessarily new, but they might be new to this area.
Sure.
And a lot of people I know like something different. They don't want something that's just down the street or on in every subdivision.
Right.
And, come in, take a look. I'm sure we're going to come up with something that you haven't seen somewhere else.
You need to give out your location.
We should. It's 3100 East Division. Division and 65 would be the main intersection right over by the railroad tracks. Come on in and see us. Give us a call, 417-823-3700. Any or all of us would be happy to help you out. I know if you come into the store, you're liable to be helped by all of us.
Now, are you open on Saturday?
No.
Oh, okay. Monday through Friday.
We are not. That's always been one of those that we've thought about it.
Mm-hmm.
And you never know. Some things may change. We may try and give it a shot this spring or summer and see what happens.
Yeah.
Just so you make Ben or Tyler work.
We'll do our best. Speaking of Ben and Tyler, my old buddy Ben over there at Springfield Brick, I would like to wish him a happy birthday today. It's his birthday.
Really?
Yep,
Wow.
He's turning the big 30.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, man.
Yep, he's not a pup anymore.
No, he's not. Boy, I wish I'd known that this morning. I'd give him a real special.
Well, I think he's taken a pretty good ribbon from everybody so far today, I believe.
I bet he has. Ben's a good guy. All the guys that work with are great guys. They're very helpful. If you go in there, y'all will do everything you can to help you and make you feel comfortable. And it's just a good place to go. Nice showroom. And so I encourage anyone who's getting ready to build a new house, has a commercial job going, whichever, go in Springfield Brick and see the guys.
Come on in, talk to us. We may not be able to help you with what you need, but we might be able to point you in the right direction if we don't have it.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question for you.
Yes,
have
ma'am.
you ever had anyone come in wanting to build an outdoor pizza oven?
Oh, man. Have we ever?
Really? So do you have the fire-rated brick for that and everything?
We do have the fire-rated brick. The pizza oven design has been the biggest point of contention.
That has been a big deal, hasn't it?
I'll tell you what, the pizza oven, and it has grown more and more popular every year. We have people call every year saying, hey, we want to build a pizza oven. Do you have? And yes, we do. We have the fire brick. We have the fire clay. We have a lot of different items to contribute to that construction. There's some pieces and parts that we don't have that you've got to kind of find or make on your own. We do have some prefabbed kits that you can purchase. Of course, that's something we don't typically carry in stock, but we can get them.
Okay.
But yeah, that's one of those that pizza ovens have been so popular lately.
I have some friends who built one, and they had us over, and they're going to do another party this spring. And we make pizza, and it's really fun the way they do it because they make the dough, and everyone has their own little individual pizza dough, and then they have all these toppings, and you just everyone makes their own topping, and you throw it in that oven like that, and that is the best pizza I have ever ate in my life. In that they build the fire, they get the fire going, and then they move the fire to the side, and then you throw it in there on those hot bricks or whatever, and it doesn't take very long at all to cook it, but it is amazing. The taste is amazing.
The people rave about the taste of a pizza out of a fire oven.
It's unbelievable.
I have not experienced it myself. The pizza that I've normally wound up with came out of a box.
Yeah.
And they brought it to my door. I haven't been able to beat the speed of that.
No, but I will tell you, if you ever eat one out of these outside pizza ovens, it is unbelievable.
That is what I've heard.
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I didn't know if there were a lot of people doing that. I just know my friend did it, and I was like, when are you inviting me over for pizza again?
There are a lot of folks out there doing that. The other thing that people come in and ask us about building kilns. I don't know.
Really?
It's for hobby enthusiasts a lot, building kilns for either pottery or ceramics or whatever the case may be. And, a lot of them, come in looking for the fire bricks and things like that. And we can help you out if we have what you're looking for, or we might be able to point you in the right direction once again. So.
And a lot of things, if you don't have it in stock, you can get it pretty easy.
We can order it.
Yeah, you can order it.
The shipping of today is nowhere close to what it was, 5-10 years ago.
Right.
There's special order products that we can have in just a couple of days.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we have, don't get scared if somebody says we have to order that in. It's not that bad of a turnaround.
Right. Yeah. So. A lot quicker than the old days.
Oh man.
Yeah, the world spins faster than it used to, doesn't it?
It really does.
Just a little bit. Now, this is kind of a dumb question, but when I was a kid, there was a product that everybody used to use to go to your local hardware store and buy. It's called Z-Brick.
Oh man!
Is there still any kind of brick that's more of a veneer that you could put on if you had an indoor project and you couldn't use a full size brick? What's out there for that?
There is. What they've done is they have went and they have had a manufacturing breakthrough. There are companies out there. All they do is just cut the face off of a brick now.
Really?
And they make a thin brick. It reduces the weight of the brick. You can apply it behind backsplashes on basement walls or around contemporary fireplaces. You can really change the inside of, the look of the inside of your home. But it's and it started out, it was pretty rare. You had to go to the right manufacturer to get it. And it's gotten to the point where all the manufacturers now just about have thin brick.
Really?
And what makes it nice is a lot of times you can get a brick that matches or is pretty close to what the exterior of your home is. So yeah, that product is out there and available to just about everybody.
Wow.
And it's called thin brick.
Thin brick.
I'll be darned.
It's about a 1/2 inch thick, and it's similar to a tile application. You just don't grout it the same. You don't want to go smearing grout over the face of your thin brick. It's kind of a chore to get it back off there.
I'll bet. Well, then, and if you were going to use it in a backsplash application, then you would have to seal it.
You definitely want to seal it. According to my wife, once you get grease on it from a deep fat fryer, it won't come back out.
I'll bet that's true. So you would want to make sure you seal it. That's why you should take your deep fat fryer and cook outside in your outdoor kitchen.
Yes, absolutely. You need to get started on that outdoor kitchen project, outdoor living area. So
you can have a pizza oven and a place to fry things.
Absolutely.
There you go.
You throw in a TV, and I'm never going back in the house.
I know. There you go in a fire pit. Hey, you can just live there forever.
Sure. Put my big green egg out there. You'd have it all.
Oh
you
man,
would. You'd have
pizzas,
it all.
You could fry stuff. You can sit out there and enjoy the fireplace. Then you just need to get you a little outdoor fridge. Keep the cold ones in out there. Your iced tea and things like that. Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you'd have it all. I mean, you don't
outdoor
never
living,
have to go back inside.
Outdoor living is a really big deal now, more so than when it used to be. I know lots of people that have a really neat. Matter of fact, some of them, their outdoor living is better than their indoor living.
I would
nicer
agree.
than their indoor living.
Absolutely, and what a circle.
Yeah.
We've developed products and created designs so that we could be in and out of the elements, and now we're just scratching and designing to get back outside.
Yeah.
Get you a hot tub out there.
Oh yeah,
so you can relax in that.
There you go.
Take your bath out there if you needed to.
Now easy.
You know, I have seen people though that builds outdoor showers. During the summertime and stuff, they like to shower outdoors.
I have seen that. I don't think my neighbors would really appreciate that.
I don't think mine would either.
Don't build it out of glass, Bob.
Oh, maybe that's where I went wrong.
I just hang a hose up in the tree and stand there,
Turn it on, Martha.
Turn it on. So, well, before we run out of time here, give your numbers again, how people can get a hold of you.
Springfield Brick, 417-823-3700.
Out there, 3100 East Division.
We are indeed. Division and 65 over by the railroad tracks. Come by and see us.
All righty. Well, glad to have you back with us, Bob.
It's a real honor. I really appreciate the time. I love playing on the radio.
Thanks for coming, yeah.
Got anything big planned this weekend?
My big plans got canceled. I was going to go to Kansas City to see my brother, but he said he's still trying to dig out, so
that's
I'm
what
not
my mom
going.
said. It's, yeah.
I'm not going, so we'll try for the next weekend maybe.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I get to play music up at the Hammond's Heart Institute tomorrow, and we're going to play for the folks up there working out, and so that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Big Convoy of Hope fundraiser's coming up next weekend, March 2nd, so I'll tell you more about that next Friday.
That sounds
Matter of fact,
good.
we'll be on KY3 next Friday morning at about
All right.
6:45, so tune us in, be playing a little music. This is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.